Hola!
Bom dia!
And welcome to the Sunny Saudade project.
We've been market shopping and we're planning some trees to plant on our land. We were a little overwhelmed. I think we're going to do some more research. But yeah, we've just got some nice bread, some good cheese, some absolutely incredible olives.
We got mushrooms as well. We got some peppers, just some bits and bobs, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, we saw so many trees around. We're going to do lots of research and pick which ones we want to plant and where, because it is pre-season now. So
Yeah.
really good.
So we were originally wanting to come here today to buy those. However, we've been told that because we're a little bit higher altitude, we should wait to plant our citrus trees. So that's why we're going to do it next week. Because
We need that citrus juice in our life, guys.
yeah, I want some big oranges and some lemons. I use lemons all the time, so.
And I want to maybe get a raspberry tree or a nectarine, because I love me some nectarines.
We can get both. We've got 4.7 hectares, babes. We can get both.
We can get both. We can get both.
They also had like amazing dragon fruit, like cacti and stuff. I really want them.
Bit bougie for me,
You
babes.
only live once. You've got to try and grow a dragon fruit if you've got the opportunity.
Fair enough, yeah. Right,
I'll go show you some of the market anyway, because it's really
yeah. So if you've seen our Corteira market video in our YouTube channel, we'll try and post a link below here. And we love us a good market, and we are in the Fundão market currently, and behind us we have the tree, if I can point to where my finger is. They sell tree and roots and everything that you can imagine for planting trees, which is amazing.
Yeah, lots of little like vegetable pods and stuff as well, but I think it's a little bit too cold at the moment to plant anything outside. It's getting to like -1 at night, so
Yeah, I mean it is sunny, but don't let that trick you, because it is still cold. So
it's true.
next week it will get warmer, you know, and winter will be finished apparently. So also they
The
say
whole 2 weeks of winter.
Exactly. So they have this outside bit here where let me just quickly show you all the plants and all the goodness, and then you have the main pavilion where you can buy what's the bread and
veg.
everything, bread and the veg and all the other bits. So yeah, it's a little bit separated, but it is quite big as well. So
Very cute.
yeah.
And there's chickens.
Yeah, there's chickens. I think the guys are about to close up, but in the near future, but when we do build a fence, then we can get some chickens. Chicken. Good people of the world, hello. We are back from the Fundão market, and we are going to do something special today for this week's video.
So last week we had someone, just before the weather turned, come and visit the land, and basically they used to grow up in a house next door to where we are, and they know this farm like the back of their hand, but they also happen to run their own like landscaping, gardening, farming kind of business and help people clear the land. So they helped us do an evaluation.
Yeah, and it was really interesting because he used to live around the corner from us. That there's one of our neighbors is his uncle, and the other one is his brother, and all that, you know, classic Portugal. So we are going to be doing a little bit more of the history of the lands and some things that we're planning to do on to the future. So look forward to it. Focusing.
Go that way.
What?
Film this way, because I want to do 2 sections, so this part and this part.
What?
Just
What? Like
don't film that way. No, film us facing This way.
See what I have to put up with, guys.
We are very sleep deprived today. Sleep deprived. I can't even speak.
Okay, go.
So this big field behind us, this is obviously the area where Carlos has been clearing on the south side, but the way that it faces is sort of more like north facing. One thing that we learned about this area, all of this used to be a forest basically, which is why those trees are so persistent in growing back. Apparently there was a small pathway through,
Yeah.
but we don't quite know where that is, and it'll make this part of the land, until we've got rid of every single last root, next to impossible to like cultivate.
Exactly. We're not really thinking of using this for cultivation. You know, we might plant a couple of trees, but I just want to show you guys something on the top here. If you look into the forest that's on our left, right, those are full of mimosa trees, which is what they are called in Portugal. All this used to be covered in them. So all the way from the house until the connection to that tree over there. There is a specific reason why, but they managed to get rid of the ones on the driveway because people used to use this access of the land prior to the train station. So yeah, the only reason why they managed to get rid of those trees was poison. That's one of the way, it's probably the easiest way of getting rid of them, but we don't want to be using any poison, because if we want to do any biological farming or anything like that, it just ruins the soil. We would much rather use a good old tractor and cut down the trees as much as we can.
Also, the way that our land is set up is on a valley, so whatever we put in this section runs directly towards the well, which is down at the bottom. So if we were to do it here, it could possibly affect what is possible drinking water for us, so we don't want to use chemicals where we can.
Yeah.
It's just risky.
As simple as that. Speaking of well, let's go and check it out.
Oh no, let's do the other side of the field first. So behind us now is the other side of that field that Carlos has been sort of clearing, and it's where we have quite a few small trees. This part of the land, again, it's not going to be good for growing like small vegetables that we put directly into the ground or anything like that, but obviously fruit trees and stuff do thrive on this side because it gets a lot of sunshine. We've already got some olives, some cork, oak, I've lost count of what else we've got, but there's loads of stuff down here. And one thing we want to do with this area is actually add a few more trees where we have some space, because we want as much fruit and delicious yummies as we possibly can. That's why we were looking at trees earlier, and I really want some more citrus, like lemon, and any good fruit trees we can find.
Yeah, we are going to go back to the market next week. We are still deciding what citrus trees we are going to buy. However, it is too soon to plant them because it's still quite cold. Next week the weather's supposed to be a lot better, and it won't go to the minus degrees in the evening, so that won't kill off the plants and the trees that we are planning on purchasing. So next week we're going to be planting some trees basically, so get excited. So standing behind me over here, so we have all this broom, all these brambles, all of this nonsense. If we do end up hiring the said person to come in here with his tractor, he and his family apparently used to have access to all the parts of the land via this main strip, but because it's all grown there, we don't have access to it. So he wants to do us that favor of trimming all of that so that we have access to all the land, instead of having to go via the way that we are going right now, which is the well, and there's a level down to the well, and there's the other level as well. So that would be something that would be good for us, because all of the flat bits of land that we have right now are perfect for planting and growing everything, according to him. So this one right here, as you can see, it's quite, it's not as level as some of the other ones from the bottom, but it's pretty good. And if we get rid of all that broom and vines and all that, or whatever nonsense, we will have more sunlight and it will help grow our crops in the future. So good stuff. Also, all of this stuff is a fire hazard because it's close to the house, so we do have to get that done before May. So yay!
I just want to apologise for my filming skills in that bit. Biscuits, I don't know what he's trying to do, but he's constantly yanking. And if you can hear him coughing, that's it. I'm not doing anything, he's just being weird. He's de-weeding for us now. Grace falling down. Hang on, it's all going wrong, babes. So we're not going to go too close to the pine forest. A big thank you to one of our viewers who pointed out about a bug that I really had no idea about. So I filmed a little bit somewhere up here. We definitely have them on our land, which is why we're not going to take the dogs too close.
Right there, Ella, yeah. Stop pulling. There we go.
I'll zoom in, you'll be able to see it. But he was really recommending that we get rid of basically the really big trees where they've obviously really infested. Also with these bugs is they can actually be potentially fatal to dogs if the hairs that they release go down their throat. So if you do buy land in Portugal and there's a lot of pine, be aware that they're there. We had no clue, so thank you to whoever pointed that out. They're basically like a big line of these caterpillars that come around this time of year. In the summer it's not a problem because they've all turned into moths and they're not harmful, but these caterpillars have like a self-defense system. They like spray hairs and like poisons, basically. Not very nice. We've checked the ground around here, so that's why we're filming here, but there's none around here, so we're okay. Don't worry, our doggos are all right. Another thing about this forest is because it's so big and it's so dense, and it would be a really big challenge for us to know how to approach it in a profitable way. So what he has recommended to us is to first we sell the eucalyptus trees, you know, because they are quite profitable if we so choose to, and then with all these pine trees behind us, if we sell the really big ones, A, to get rid of those bugs, and second to make some profit out of those, and keep the smaller trees as they will grow over time. I'm picking up Ella because there's lots of brambles and we're scared of the worms, so she's being a big baby right now. So behind me, you might notice over there, there's a little stone structure. Okay, that used to be the tank. Okay, and the well where Charlotte is standing on right now used to be open. So the previous owner, apparently there was a donkey here that would go around the well. And then there was some sort of contraption or mechanism that would then get the water out of the well into the water tank. And the next couple of fields, stop moaning, Yellow, bless you. And so they created an irrigation system for the next plots of land, because those are the really good ones for planting things. So yeah, so this little stone house, Charlotte will point you over there. That was not there in the past. As you can see, there's the bits of cement that were built on top of the stone wall. So yeah, which is great. We had no idea that the tank was actually there until he pointed out to us. He was even saying there used to be a bee hive. Biscuits, do you need a hand? Do you want me to get you? Come here, come here. I'll bring you down, it's all right. Come on, buddy. Come here. Yes, I know you want to be picked up. Come on then, I'll pick you up. Come on. Oh, you're a good boy.
I don't really know if you can see it, but right in front of me there's the well. Oh, sorry, the little tank, and right above my finger there's a little tube that may have been used as the irrigation system for the other plots of land.
Yeah. Just to point it out, this is bore.
So, right behind me over here, this would have been the access way to get over to this side of the land, because over there was a wall, you see, and there's a tube going right in the pathway that was used to irrigate this part of the land and the other half of this level. So it's really good that they have had all this planned out and sorted before we were actually here. Now, a couple things have happened in a time span of 20 to 30 years. One of the things that we were advised by the guy who came to visit the land is to, you know, cut some of the trees that are getting in the way and that are making the place more restrained. So we've got a couple of trees that have grown in the pathway, just like that one. If we cut it down, then it looks better, the land looks bigger, and it just looks more looked after, you know. So that's one of the tips that he's given us.
Have you made a big hole, Biscuits? 10 out of 10 hole, buddy. So these little hunting dogs have found something.
Go get it.
Go ahead, babes. What were you going to say?
So, according to the dude, this level right here, where all these brambles and all this wildlife, it's nice and flat, it's hidden, and it's perfect for growing everything. They used to grow carrots, potatoes, and all sorts of veg due to the irrigation system. Now, in regards to getting this area cleaned, there is an access way from the top bit of the land, which I will show in a couple of minutes, but it is possible to get the tractor to this level. Okay guys, so the tractor to get to this level would have to come from the little pathway that leads from the higher level of our house into here. The issue would be coming back, because if you follow me, Charlotte, with the camera plan, there is a cork tree right here. This cork tree, you know, it's stunning, it's beautiful, but it does impede the tractor from going down to the bottom level, and for it to get back up, it will be a bit of a struggle. However, when we get to the lower land, there used to be an access that his dad used to use to get to that side. We will just have to go on Google Maps, drive our way, and find this hidden secret passage that gets to here. But he reckons it's possible somehow. If not, we're gonna have to get rid of all the stuff in this land, in this lower level by hand, which will be a nightmare.
Sorry, just spotted more board tracks. So we're not going to go down to the lower level because it is a total nightmare. We have shown it in a previous video. I'll find it somewhere. But one thing we do also want to incorporate into these levels is a few glamping spots in amongst the farm and the fields. So this will all eventually have to be cleared properly, but the main part is the upper part of the land, where he also told us, Biscuits is just going for a wee, where he also told us about some other great growing opportunities and the bigger surprise, which we'll show you in a second.
Oh, sugar lumps. Okay, another thing that he made a recommendation is this section of the land. So the house is just up there. This bit here, there's a lot of trees and they're all kind of crammed together. If we cut down most of these trees, cut the bigger ones, it will give us access to more land, and we'll have more opportunities to do some farming, or even to do something with it, which is always good. You know, it makes it look professional, and it makes it looked up, and it makes the land looked after. So
we need sleep and caffeine.
Mate, literally.
We're not going into the woods, babes. Come on. No, we're not going in. She's so sad.
Also, I'm going to steal Charlotte's camera. So this whole strip that started over there in the corner, You can cut all of this down here, okay? And we will have access to the other levels, and it will just make our life so much easier, and it will clear this hazard because this is quite close to the house as well. So this is probably our biggest obstacle, the biggest drama that we're going to get until May.
It is like a wall of vegetation that it's really easily burnt vegetation too. So yeah, mildly terrifying. It has to go before the summer. This bit's gone a bit mad. So apparently this area is amazing for growing vegetables like tomatoes and lettuce. It's quite high up on the land. As you can see, the house is right next to me. A diesel train's about to go right past. Just a baby one. But this area is nice and flat and it gets a lot of sun from where it's sitting in the land. However, one thing we do need to take care of, I don't know if you can see, way back when we first moved here, I cut my foot open on some really nasty thorns. The original tree has been chopped down, but what's happened is whoever did chop it down before never got rid of the roots or anything. That seems to be a recurring theme throughout a lot of this farm. But all these baby plants have grown from that original tree and they're really horrible, really sharp and thorny, and we just want to get rid of them so we can get to some of our best grapes that we have on the land as well, which are just over here.
So guys, standing next to me, I don't really know if the camera can catch it, right here. So this was the OG tree that was cut, okay, and then all these small branches started to grow and all of this wild stuff here. So you know, we could use a tractor to try and do it. What I'm going to try and do is, I think beginning of March, end of Feb, when it's less cold, you can grow these vegetables at a higher temperature, you know, to cultivate and to grow. I'm gonna trim all of this down and I'm gonna dig out the roots myself. It's gonna be a challenge, but it's gonna be fun. And once this has all been cleaned, you'll have a clean, flat area to grow the vine grapes. As you saw, there's a couple of cherry trees and all the good stuff as well.
Not to mention, it's right next to the house, which makes it easy.
It's right next to the house. The reason why this area is so good is because it's nice and secluded. The house is right next to me on my right, so to the viewer's left. The sun rises to my left, so you have a lot more day hours of sunshine, which is great.
So this area, I don't know if you remember one of the first videos that we filmed on this farm. I was clearing all of this. It used to be completely covered in brambles, although some of them have already grown back. It all used to be completely covered in old twigs and stuff, but there are some really good grapevines and stuff that are growing. This is going to be my little personal mini project to clear and de-weed all of this, and also to show some love to these poor grapevines that clearly, I don't know who trimmed these, but they did a terrible job. The idea is this will eventually be covered up, and if we do buy a tractor, it's going to be like a natural kind of mini covered area for him. So coming round to the house leads us back to this area near the top of our land. We have the invasive mimosa trees. One thing we have found out and why everything seems to grow so well in this area behind us is very exciting. There's actually a spring in this part. We had no idea when we bought the land, but apparently everyone who used to have houses in the area actually used to come to this little spot and they used to use the spring to get all their water. That's why we get so many boar that cross this little part of the land. They cross into here to get a drink. And also it's why we had like a mini waterfall going down our driveway, because when we had so much rain, the water level was obviously pushed up and the spring water, yes, was coming out the top of the land and running down the driveway. The great thing about this is it's feeding our well, which means that we still haven't done the test. I know we need to do it, but we're like 99% certain now that it's drinkable water. It also means that even when there's a drought, a lot of our crops will be safe. Last year, a lot of people struggled when there was just a crazy drought, but we noticed a lot of this land was still pretty green, and that is why. It's coming up from deep in the earth. It's something that we're not necessarily so reliable on rainwater. Obviously, we will always keep an eye on it. We are in a hot country. It's something we need to do, but we do plan to eventually, even though we're recommended not to, but I really want to, is to build a proper system in here so that we can get the water up and use it for drinking water, as well as the well water. But this part will be safe because it's at the top of the land. There's less likely of things to run into it. Plus, it's right next to the area over here where we were talking about making a good vegetable garden. It's above the area where we want to plant the trees, but this area is really flat, and I don't know if you can see, the grass on there is just way greener, and it's obviously a really good area for growing vegetables. That's why our orange tree is actually doing surprisingly well, even though it's not been cared for years and years.
So I've actually been in this part of the forest during the daylight. After 7-8 o'clock, there's a likelihood of wild boar being here. So I'm gonna try and find it with Charlotte. This is very exciting because we've never filmed the inside of it. There's loads of mushrooms. It's very dense. So yeah, wish us luck. And Charlotte's hiding behind me because she's scared.
Hello. So I don't know if you can see on the camera, but this area is a lot deeper, and there's lots of channels that run through this little part. It's quite it's quite near the rail line, but this, it used to be the area that used to basically be like how would you say, it's not like a mine, but like
similar to a mine. Yeah, that's what the guy said.
They used to put their buckets down in here and pull it straight out the earth. So that's why our land is in like such a steep valley. That's why there was a river. That's why there's channels, irrigation. I did film a bit earlier. I don't know if you saw it. It was actually still running at the bottom of the land.
If you see a plumber, we might be able to actually like...
I think it's a bit of a bigger job than that, babes.
So I reckon around there somewhere, around this the depository, used to be where people used to mine the water.
It looks like a bit of a sinkhole, babe, so please don't get any closer.
It's fine. Yeah, it's exciting. Please get out of the way. Yeah, so I mean, I can't really see or hear any water, but...
It's down there.
I can actually hear some water.
Hear it.
That's mad. I don't know if the camera caught it, but
you can hear it when it's really quiet.
Yeah, so if we want to get an irrigation system and things sorted out, we are sorted.
I'm so excited.
I look like super tiny compared to you.
I'm really nervous about where you're standing though, because I feel like it's not very stable.
It's actually not. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. We know it's a little bit different. We didn't do much, but this is more research and knowledge of the land and knowing what we can and can't do, instead of just going at it like blind horses and not really knowing what we're doing.
Which we've definitely been doing so far.
We have been roasted. One of my colleagues from work has told me that, oh, how much of your veggies have grown? Yeah. And we said, well, the garlics and the onions are going, and the rest, not really.
The broccoli's still going, the leeks are still going, but none of the carrots or spinach, no. None of it worked. It's a learning process.
It is a learning process. And me trying to turn on the machine for 10 minutes was hilarious, apparently. So we're getting a load of stuff from the UK. So next week's video might be a bit different. But leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you had a mine, water, spring, thingy, how would you do, and how would you go about it?
Also, don't forget to keep giving me those growing tips. Any gardening tips are always appreciated.
Tchauzinho.
Tchauzinho.
That's right. Go.